What is up, guys, and welcome back to this Sunday, or any day, K Cup of Joe. Just sit back, have a nice little sip of this K Cup of good old Joe, and listen to this episode. So, we have not done a video in a very long time, and we'll dive into that. But first, um, guess what came out recently, Joe?
What did?
The CCM 245
Well,
MEs.
right.
And as always, you know, at first,
Yeah,
great. I got one.
I didn't get one as usual.
They were a little bit overpriced, and by a little bit, I mean a flipping lot. And plus, people are kind of overrating it. Um, Now, from my personal experience, getting out of the box, this was my first 245 from CCM, so it was like the ooh ah sort of thing. And then I was getting, I was putting it in my model room for display with the 775 by Tonkin. I know, not really fitting, but and then I noticed the bucket was free, hanging there,
What?
and one of the brass connector pins actually fell out, and I could not find it for the life of me.
That's
It,
an issue.
I literally spent 2 hours going at several different hobby shops trying to find a small brass rod that would actually substitute for it. And then when I was putting the rod in and getting it all cut and
Yeah,
everything,
that's
getting it cut to size, one of the hydraulic lines popped loose. So now that model has become the model I don't touch because I'm afraid it's going to break for some random ass reason.
okay. So, I mean, getting into it, when it was first announced, I was like, okay, cool. Another CCM 245 that they're coming out with. So
And this
then,
and that is the fourth variation of 245.
right, the third being the material handler with the grapple, which now fetches an obscene price that I don't think very many people want to pay.
I know a couple people that will pay it,
It
but
originally retailed for 180 around there. Now certain dealers have it listed for $300, even though they had it when it was first in stock, and they usually don't change their prices.
you see, guys, and this proves a point that people will make money wherever they can, and a lot of people believe that money is everything when it really is not. But the second variation was the
The
front.
biggest fault. All right.
Oh, I was gonna say the second
Yeah.
variation was the front shovel, and meanwhile I'm giving the middle finger to my 245 because I'm not a fan. But and then also the original one was the first.
Right, but then the standard excavator, they eventually took a couple under 200, I believe, and then turned them into the drill handler.
And
But
that, and
to be
then
fair, let's just take into consideration the material handler was a variant of the stand excavator model, and the price was just about the same, if not, maybe a tiny bit more or less, compared to the mass excavator, which almost seemed to have doubled in price, or very
and
close.
and also it's worth noting that the mass excavator was produced off of the base of the front shovel.
Right. I mean, just tooling up a new boomstick and bucket.
Very,
Although
very,
toolings are expensive, but I
very.
mean, it's not like they're redoing a new model.
I must add, very poorly designed boomstick and buckets.
I mean, I do look at some of the photos online, and I can't quite see the one that they really modeled it after, because each 245 mass excavator I see on Google Images or your search engine of choice seems to have slight variation from that, mainly with the boom being a different
And honestly, though, hey Joe, you know where I think that that design was derived from?
Or,
Where they pulled it out of their ass, to be honest.
oh no.
I spent a couple hours on Google Images and I could not find one that, you know, looked similar.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a model it's a model I wouldn't mind having, but at the price it sits at right now, it's a hard choice.
And the thing is, though, as per usual for CCM models, the price is just going to go up.
Right. I mean, that's the whole thing that I haven't been a fan of the whole time. Their whole premise of selling models in low quantities just seems to be a money grab strategy because, they basically say we're going to make X amount of models. And you realize the tooling's expensive. Okay. So, in order to sell out the models before they're even released, as a lot of the more popular CCM models, basically upon announcement, as soon as you can pre-order them, almost all of them are spoken for. So basically what CCM does is they allow pre-orders, but then they don't really disclose the price until later. And
by then, it's really already too late.
yeah, because a lot of these dealers that you pre-order from, they have you put a deposit on the model, and then you get billed for the full value of the model plus shipping whenever it comes in. So the whole deal with CCM is they have the tooling and it's expensive, but how can they make that money back as soon as possible? By announcing a limited run of models.
And,
By doing that, they have to spread the cost out throughout the models and have them recuperated within basically a couple weeks of the announcement of the model.
and then, I mean, come on, CCM, they're not idiots. They're not Norscott.
They have this all figured out.
They,
They have it down to a science.
they know for a fact that there's going to be plenty of people that go, ooh ah, CCM's making a brand new cat model. Ooh ah, must have it now. I don't care what it is, as long as it's cat and CCM, must have.
I mean, basically, they've used all of this to build up their reputation that, even though you don't really see the picture of the model out yet, you just see a stock photo of the real machine or a, brochure picture. People think of CCM and they think that they're going to do a good job with it, a quality job, and they're going to knock it out of the park. Usually that's the deal, but other times it's not quite the deal, and you end up with models like the whole D9 issue, the D9H, I believe.
Yeah.
Back
Also, I wanted to add that
with the paint issues and all the delays and everything.
I wanted to add that I don't have anything against CCM. I have CCM models. I have the 385, 390, 349, and the D10 and the 245. I like CCM models. But do I want to pay the price? Absolutely not. And also, by the way, as a side note, my CCM 385 has super loose cylinders for the boom and stick.
Well, anyway, back to how it is. They basically have it set up so they can get the investment into tooling the model and the develop R&D of the model very soon after they announce and ship the model. So anyway, their whole thing with selling limited quantities is they're basically enticing collectors to, like those, as seen on TV commercials, they're like, act now to avoid future disappointment. So in that case, the disappointment in the future is having to pay some scalper on eBay or any website, or even reputable dealers for that matter, they adjust the prices of CCM models for inflation or, let's say, the supply and demand point of view, as they put it, that they feel necessary to jack up the price on CCM models that they've had in stock just so they can cash in on people who haven't put in their pre-orders and are just looking for the model within weeks of its actual ship date.
And I also wanted to add that their name is Classic Construction Models. Well, I don't really see much classic construction there. Maybe the 245 and the D10 and stuff like that. Yeah, but we're getting models that really aren't classics yet. Something that you can't call a classic, or stuff
Right.
that I
Can't-
wouldn't define as a
yeah.
classic, you know. But
I can't really see something like a 349E even being remotely classic at this point. I mean, yes, they have the license with Caterpillar and they produce what Caterpillar wants. Great. But I don't know how they can really live with that name if half of the models or more that they're producing are pretty much brand new machines.
yeah, but and that brings me to something else. Sort of go. I don't really want to go off topic on the CCM stuff because we still have one more thing to talk about, and that's their contractors series or whatever.
Right.
They're making a bunch of stuff. What is it? 1/24 scale?
Yeah, 1/24 scale.
Like backhoes, skid steers. I hope to God they make a 289. Joe, you know for a fact I'm gonna jump on that.
Oh, yeah.
I have a history with 289s.
Yeah. But anyway.
But talk about people doing what they're told by Caterpillar Diecast Masters. Come on, the little guy that's in the cab. That's not Diecast Masters doing. They're the ones who produce it, yes, but Caterpillar wanted the little guy to give you a quote unquote perspective on a real person versus the machine, or what a real person would stack up against compared to the real machine.
Yeah.
Now, as much as I like to, kind of brag that, okay, maybe I'm one of the few people that are actually okay with it. I shouldn't have said brag, but I'm okay with the figure. It has the reflective thing on the vest that makes, it's not that bad. I just wish it wouldn't look like the stereotypical Great X douchebag, but. Or I'm sorry, the stereotypical construction worker wearing the glasses, hard hat, and reflective vest, which, yeah, it's good and all, but anyways, back to the contractors series. I mean, we're supposed to see what scrapers and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like all sorts of, they claim, contractors' favorite equipment that really doesn't get represented in scale very often.
Well, we got 1/50th scale pieces, and I don't really see the contractor series doing 100% terribly well.
I mean, 1/24th scale for sure. I've held the D7E in my hands before I returned it for various reasons.
It was fucked.
DCM, yeah. But anyway, I mean, they're nice models and everything, but they're just so large that you're gonna have a hard time displaying them. And some people have said it's a West Coast thing, but when I think West Coast, I think, small spaces.
And by the way, I must say that if Diecast Emporium plans on getting it, he might need some help with space-wise.
But anyway, 1/24th scale, I don't see it as being as popular as they make it out to be. A lot of people have reached out to CCM and asked about 1/48th scale, but CCM has basically kind of said, no, we're not doing this because of various reasons. One of the excuses they claim is that they're going to have to compromise on the detail.
Now, that's complete and utter bullshit. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Who was it? It was either Sal or Mike when they had their CCM 385. They tore it apart, and it revealed a fan that actually functioned that nobody knew was there because you couldn't even see it.
Or it was just detailed. I don't know about actually functioning.
No, it functioned. Mine, I took the body off of mine, and it does function.
Yeah, I mean, even if you were not talking about CCM, we talk about, say, the 870, and then we have a certain model reviewing website that somehow took theirs apart, and then they showed, just like the 385, how everything was in there. So it's not just the 1/48 scale thing.
And I must say that they cannot say they got compromised details because that's stuff that we didn't even know was in there.
If they had been so concerned about compromising details, then why would they have produced 148 scale for that matter, or even back in the 90s, their 187 scale cat pieces.
Yeah.
When they if they had cared so much about detail, they could have done 124 scale the whole time.
Again, it's just kind of messed up.
But anyway, another point about CCM I've been noticing lately is that in comparison to, say, a couple of years ago, you're seeing the prices just go up and up and up.
Because they know they can. And
to a crazy extent.
They know for a fact that they can raise the price as much as they want to, and people are still going to buy their models like fucking madmen. They know this. They're not...
And they're still going to go for even more on the secondary market.
Yeah. So, either way, CCM is making their money, and that's all they care about. And I guess that's all that matters. Now, I have to say this. What is it? Don't they have them like 187 scale cat front shovels, like the really massive ones?
Yeah, the all brass ones, right?
Yeah. Well, ironically, I guess what the picture is of the background picture. Just guess what it is.
It's that.
He cannot see what I'm seeing right now, but you guys can see. Take a guess what my picture is for the video.
It's the shovel.
Yes, the 6120 BHFS. And we're going to dive into why I have a picture of this thing, this secret project. Whoops. Not so secret anymore now, is it?
Oh boy.
Well, it's kind of hard to keep something a secret when you can see it from over a mile away. Good job, Pat. So, shall we dive into how I got that picture now?
There's still a couple topics, so we can go on with that and return later.
What are we doing now? Like, continue.
Yeah, we can return to this later and go into your thing right now.
Okay, since we're on this topic, so I found a site that I didn't know about for many months, and it had a 345, and I posted a picture on Instagram, and I'm keeping this short. So the operator of that specific 345 goes, okay, that's my hoe, or my excavator, and he direct messages me. He goes, I noticed you don't have any pictures of stuff larger than 50 tons. Here's an address for a PC750. Well, I go to the 750, and I also go to the old 3D site, or a new 3D site with the old guys. And then Jesse Burst gives me a Gecko Balls Burst. That's an inside joke, but he sends me an address to a Manitowoc 4600, and then Ethan sends me an address to a mine in Bloomington. To keep things short, the shipmobile gets a little damaged. A little bit. The shipmobile is my car. But anyways, after that, I all of a sudden want to go somewhere big. I kind of want to do something. And that night that I got back from that trip to that mine in Bloomington, I had my heart set on going to Peoria, Illinois, which, if you do not know, is the home of Caterpillar. So, and I want to go to the visitor center over there, and pretty much it's just a giant promotion for Cat, plus it's got a 793 branded as 797. Don't let them fool you. But also, I posted a picture of the 797, quote unquote, and it has over 1,000 likes on Instagram, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much. I love my followers. And then, like, Ethan specifically asked me if he could get, or if he or we could get access to see the 6120. And the first person I asked actually denied its existence, and the other person goes, no, you cannot, and then acted like it didn't exist. So
then there was like employee information only or something.
Yes, employee info only or some bullshit like that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Well, so when I get home, I tell Ethan the bad news, And he goes, okay, well, do you want to come up here and see it anyways? I'm like, why? He goes, oh, it's being scrapped this year. I'm like, really? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I couldn't pass it up. You know that, Joe.
Yeah.
So I drive the 5 hours to Milwaukee. It's an easy drive. I was sitting there eating chicken nuggets the entire time, keeping it warm with the seat warmer on my car. Go up there, meet up with Ethan. He's a lot shorter than I actually thought. No, literally. And I almost punted their vehicle on the interstate, and their car is like half the size of mine. And we go and see the 6120, and then we also go see this Co-Ring 1066 and this Bucyrus Erie, or not Bucyrus, it's a P&H. Oh, I want to dive into the Bucyrus, but I'll get to that in 1 second. This P&H promotional thing close to Miller Park, which is the home of the Milwaukee Brewers. It's also the location of the, what was it, the Big Blue or whatever, that giant crane collapse back in 99? Yeah, so that big crane collapse in 99. Crane Dude knows all about that. So, by the way, guys, the 6120B is the only, alright, it's the largest machine that Cat has branded, and I only say branded, they did not produce it, they did not make the machine. It was originally a Bucyrus machine, and then later on, once Cat bought out Bucyrus, they badged it as their own, and pat on the back, your project fucking failed. But now it's just sitting there.
Yeah, what I heard is they basically fired anyone that knew anything about it.
Yeah, pretty much like the Nissan GTR LM project. But anyways, so Cat, this is a secret project, even though you can see the machine from over a mile away. It's a cool machine to see, but you can't get close to it. Like, that's as close as I could get, but it's still very massive. It's 1,400 tons.
I still can't figure out how some Dutch company convinced their Cat dealer to get them in.
Oh, we slip you a €50 dollar bill.
No, I think it's because they're such a large user of Cat, and like, you know.
Now, there was the option of crashing the shipmobile through the fence, but Ethan's dad did not take too kindly to that idea.
And you had to adhere to a no-lie policy.
No lie, no. Well, I can't say that one on here. I'm trying to keep it PG-14 at least. No crashing, no punting. I could cuss. Pretty much, I couldn't do anything fun. No fun. But we actually kind of went to a high school, parked in the high school parking lot, or some sort of school, and then walked on train tracks and got pictures of it. And then, probably the best part of this, and Ethan can attest, I mooned Caterpillar security. Which,
oh boy.
Which is funny because nobody would put that past me. But yeah, it was great to see the Bucyrus Cat 6120 BHFS. Yes, it is a hybrid. It's great to see it. It's the largest Caterpillar hydraulic machine ever made, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's also a big bust, and it's going to be scrapped this year, which is very unfortunate, but that's a lot of metal money right there.
And also, people that had access to the photos of the machine in Bucyrus colors were specifically asked not to release them.
But Joe, guess what? There's a little certain tool called Google Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cat cannot stop that.
Unless I don't think they can call up Google and to censor it, like, you know, how they censor certain, like, military bases in other countries, but...
Yeah. So, once I leave, and I part ways with Ethan at a Stinky Belt dealership, and I'm literally sitting there in my car the entire time once he goes, oh yeah, we gotta go to Link Belt. I'm like, Stinky Belt. And I'm literally screaming at my car just to, like, annoy the person I'm talking on the phone with. Never talk, text, or drive. and we go see that Co-Ring 1066, cool Co-Ring, second Co-Ring I've ever seen, coolio. So after I leave from Milwaukee, the sky opens up, and it's like I'm okay with driving in the rain, but when you can't see past your hood and you're basing your driving off the taillights of other people, that's fucked. And then the rain lets up, and I go to Chicago, and everyone knows I was born in Chicago. I kind of take pride in that. And a really good friend of mine, probably one of my best friends besides Joe, of course. Oh, no 80s. Aww. Oh, nothing? Come on. Anyways, I meet up with the one, the only Mr. Bobcat 1, Deer 2, Cat 3, aka Nico, aka the kid that fell on his ass in concrete. Or cement.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah, there's that video.
Yes. Oh, fuck. What is this?
Hmm?
I'm stuck.
So, what? I just fell in cement.
I tease him about that, so... But
yeah, then you wrote in Sharpie, Nico fell here.
yes! So, that's real fast. The roundabout site ended in 2014. They patched up the road where they dug to put in pipes with cement, and I wrote Nico fell here and put a handprint in the wet cement. Sort of like what they do on like the Walk of Fame or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately, it was torn out by a road milling. Well, I guess it wasn't a road milling machine. I guess it was the 321. But anyways, so yeah, have a great time with Nico. Go see equipment in the fucking freezing cold weather. I buy him lunch apparently. I don't remember that, but okay. It was a good sandwich. JJ was supposed to go with us, but that fell through.
Didn't go as planned.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it was a fun trip, and then I was glad to get home that night. Like, I practically cried because I was just so happy to be home because, ladies and gentlemen, let me put it like this. If you've driven for more than 12 hours in a day, then it gets, like, sort of miserable. Your life, you just can't wait to get home. Your life is, like, miserable because you think you're so close, but yet you're so far away. And I laid there in bed for probably 4 hours, just like teared up because I was just so happy to be back home. And also there was a thought running through my head that I've accomplished everything I ever wanted to as a heavy equipment photographer. I mean, Joe, you remember when I was just excited to see a 13-ton excavator?
Yeah.
And now look at me. That was fun. Like I can't believe that it happened, but it's awesome. And also Ethan's fucking cheap shot at me and took a picture of me taking a picture of the 6120 ass. So after that, like, I didn't go anywhere for a very long time, and then Indy 500 month came around, and obviously I live in Indianapolis and I'm a racing fan, and I thought I'd do something nice for a friend of mine, and I bought, since he's a huge Team Penske fan, I picked up some of the 2016 Team Penske Greenlight Indy cars for him, and drove down to Cincinnati. I think you guys know where this is going, and got to see the official Emporium HQ by Mr. Diecast Emporium himself. And guys, by the way, it is everything he touts it to be. I guess tout's still a thing. It's everything he says it is, and more. And honestly, Tommy, one of the best dudes out there. If you aren't already, subscribe to his YouTube channel. Really fucking awesome dude. So yeah, that kind of sums up briefly. Because in the last couple months, I put nearly 4,500 miles on my car. So that's quite a few.
Yep.
That's quite a few miles.
All right.
But you know what? I had fun doing it, and I can say honestly, you know, I've done everything I've wanted to, and I'm happy. I I have no regrets from any of it, minus the fact that I probably should have known how to work a country gas pump, where you actually have to pump it then pay it.
No regrets.
No regrets.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, isn't that from like a John Deere lawnmower commercial?
I don't know.
No regrets. No. Yeah, it is. I remember that commercial from like 2009. It's an old commercial. Yeah.
I just know this commercial where it's like, I forget, it's some like, oh, was it like Snickers or something? They were talking about like people not doing their job right when they're hungry or something. And some tattoo person tattooed some biker and it says like no regrets, and then he's like says it in some super confused voice reading it.
No regrets.
Yeah. He's like, you what? You did this wrong, seriously?
Now, my only question is, what the hell is that giant antenna on the back of the 6120? Is it like an antenna or a flagpole or something?
Who knows?
Is trying to fly their own flag on a secret project that they don't want anybody to know about, but it's kind of hard to contain because you can see it from over a mile away?
Or is it some antenna to turn on the evil destroyer Terminator mode?
I don't know, but I had a really sucky phone service when I was near it. No, legitimately, I did have really bad phone service, and then when I got my car, oh look, I got phone service.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking to go back up to Illinois and hang out with the guys up there. Hopefully the weather would be better, and I won't be wet and freezing my ass off, and then realize that my car smells like fish. Thanks. But I'm not gonna complain about that. But all in all, though, I used 2 tanks of gas on 12 hours of driving, so not bad.
Right.
Pretty happy. $60 worth of gas. But anyways, by the way, newsflash, everybody: the summer shipment of Diecast Master stuff is now at 3,000 toys. But here's the problem. The 335 and any other model that you'd be excited about is not a part of this shipment, actually, like it should have been. It's actually...
Unless you want last-minute CT660s.
Yes, this is the last time we'll see the CT660s in a wave. I guess you could call them a wave, delivery, whatever. But stuff like D390 and stuff that sold out...
almost instantaneously.
Yes. But stuff,
330s, 336s, that kind of stuff. Restock.
Hey, Joe, you should get the 390F since you got like 10 of them near you.
2.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at my D11 and looking at the blade and being like, damn. I would make... I'm trying to hold back a joke. I'll have to tell you when we finish this. Sorry, people, but don't get offended if I like say I gotta tell you after this we quit recording because you guys aren't meant to hear it, and that sounds asshole-ish almost, but it's true.
It's like, how dare you, Kevin?
By the way, I was going back and like apparently hashtag K-Rollins of photography was a thing there for a little bit. And I have to say this special thanks to one Mr. Yellow Taxi Cab for his awesome words.
Taxi Cab Yellow.
I've never been called entertaining before on Instagram. I've been called a lot of things, but entertaining is one of the few rarities. And of course, this was when I did the giveaway, and he had to post a picture of me holding this Trex TS14.
Oh boy.
A stand-up person, great eye for photography, and you can also hear him through this YouTube channel. So, yeah. By the way, Joe, so you remember the old embarrassing photo of me in front of the D7?
Oh, yeah.
There's one printed photo of that, and Brandon actually mailed it to me for me to sign it.
Oh boy.
Brandon's fucked.
He's like, I need his autograph.
And we know what Brandon it is specifically, but you guys probably don't. but I signed it, then I burned it. I signed it like 4 times because I need to get that thing down.
Mm-hmm.
I just usually do my initials, but okay.
All right.
I did sign the shitmobile, however.
Uh-huh.
It's on the trunk lid, and it also says shitmobile on the door. So,
Oh,
but yeah, I got to meet quite a few cool guys in the last couple months,
nice.
and the next big thing for me is probably going to be going to New England, and I'm gonna go invade the Diecast Mania and Diecast Mania Studios
Okay.
because the Emporium invasion went so well. Oh, by the way, Joe, we
Yeah.
haven't done this in a while. How's progress on the 350?
Finally finished up the body work. Got the brass sheet for the grill work on the body. Drilled a bunch of holes for the brass handrails, broke a bunch of drill bits in that process, and just primed the body work today.
Joe's getting it done, boys.
Hopefully done sometime this summer. So we're looking at 60-ish hours right now. So
Oh, by the way, today I ran into an old, comrade, that started this whole entire flippin' long distance trip thing.
oh yeah.
That damn PC 750. It's 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes from my house. And I actually, the guys were walking around the yard and stuff, and I flipped the thing off. They thought I was flipping them off. They flipped me off when I'm trying to flip the machine off.
Oh boy.
I hate that thing almost because all the money I had to pour into gas to travel, but still, I guess that kind of gets negated.
You know, when I finally finish up the 350, I gotta go hunt down that let's just say pile of junk of a 350 that convinced me to get into this in the beginning.
Oh, you mean the kerosene?
Yeah, the guy still got his 350 and the Crusher around, and it's not super far away. So
From what I've heard, this kerosene douchebag is a fucking prick.
we'll leave it at that.
If you there's I'm pretty sure that there's news articles about him,
Oh yeah.
so you can go read about the old shriveled up sack of shit. I guess he's old, isn't he?
I don't know. Well, he worked as a project manager for a notable company around here before setting off on his own.
So wouldn't you call him the Bernie Madoff of heavy equipment?
I'm not sure about that. I mean, he didn't. Well, I mean, they did promise to do work and didn't deliver quite right. So
You promised.
yeah, they basically had a way with the equipment. They had everything so it just worked barely. A lot of things, maybe except for the 350, because that actually seemed to work. This compared to the other pieces of equipment they own, and other pieces of equipment met fiery deaths.
Yeah.
345B.
Which still, the 345B was one of the best machines Cat ever produced.
Yeah.
Now, again, and people are saying the 352 is not the replacement for the 349. I want to clear this up here. Yes, it is. Now, if you go back, what machine replaced the 345?
49.
Exactly, and there was such thing as a 349D. So
yeah, for developing countries.
So
Mostly.
But that's sort of like the hint there. If Cat is going to follow their previous history, or due to repeat history, they usually introduce the next series along with the older series that is being replaced. So the 345D was, and the 349D, and that was replaced by the 349E. Now we're on the 349F, and there's the 352F. So the whatever G series is gonna be, I'm kind of afraid what the G series is gonna look like.
Yeah, and we even see other companies, cough cough, Volvo, are taking on the cat design.
You know, I would say something about Volvo, but I'd probably get sued.
Oh,
Remember, Volvo don't like anybody saying bad shit about them. They just want to be in the spotlight. Nissan. Yeah,
Oh.
Nissan does it too. Look how many places they sponsor.
hmm.
You can't go to any racetrack without seeing Nismo, which is Nissan's motorsport program, Nismo.
Okay.
I forgot what the acronym for that was, but whatever.
Hey, not important.
Well, still, just saying. Volvo has their fingers in everything. They got cars, trucks, equipment, toilets, probably. I mean, they are full of shit, so kind of makes sense.
Oh boy.
But we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
29.5-foot pole.
By the way, I have to address this question from somebody on Instagram. They asked, what series is the shuttle buggy model? And the answer is pretty simple. It's a D series. Now, the reason I say that is Roadtech shuttle buggy. If you think about it, the A and B series was when Roadtech was independent. The early C series was also when Roadtech was independent, and then the late model C's and D's were Aztec Industries brand, or Roadtech with Aztec Industries on it. It's pretty obvious though that it is a D. The rear conveyor gives it away, actually, pretty easily, actually, and it's not an E due to the fact that the fume extraction system, the second one, there's one on the F1 conveyor. There's 3 conveyors on it. There's the F1, which is the main one from the dump truck to the inner body. The F2 that takes it from the inner body to the F3 conveyor, which goes out to the paver or whatever. But the fume extraction system above F2 is actually placed on the actual conveyor on F3, the outward towards the paver conveyor, the one that sticks out the back. And the conveyor that sticks out the back is also wider on the E series. So it is a SB2500D. Just to answer that question.
All right.
But they brand it just SB2500 so it could be generic. So
yeah, so they could just give it to whoever or sell it.
Thank you, Roadtech, for the free shuttle buggy.
Yeah, you forgot the Roadtech accent.
The what?
The accent when you call them.
Hi, welcome to Roadtech. Thank you for calling Roadtech. My name is Tammy. How may I help you?
All right.
Decent.
Okay, so you want to go on to our second half of the whole CCM thing?
Oh yes, let's return to CCM Rant 101 with Barbara Walters.
So I mean, in case anything happens or someone gets overly annoyed with us, this is purely like an editorial kind of thing, not really.
Now,
it's more like a opinion kind of thing, and it's not really meant to really burn anyone to the ground or anything.
By the way, I forgot to say, the views expressed in this show are not the views of the Model News Group or anybody associated with it. These are me and Joe's personal views, expressions, and shitisms. I guess that's a word. So, again, don't hold it against Model News for stuff that we say. It's really just our own personal opinions and stuff. So, CCM, if you gotta take offense towards me and Joe more so. Well, actually, give us 50-50 on this one. But still, these are our own personal views and expressions, and I cannot say that enough, but still,
Yeah.
continue.
Alright, so the whole thing is recently their prices on models have given people, a lot of people, even diehard collectors, a great case of sticker shock. Being, they see older versions of models, and then they refresh them and, do a couple different variations, like they did with the 245 into the mass excavator, and now they're going to do it with, I believe, the D10, right?
Yes, they're doing another D10 variation.
In case you were wondering, they are modeling this one after the upgraded version with the twin stacks.
Actually, yes. Alright, so this original CCM one is based on the launch spec 1977 D10, the one that was first displayed at a show where Cat was like, "Hey, come check out this new amazing dozer with this new high sprocket technology." The launch spec one that actually sits outside of, well, actually it doesn't. It's actually in Caterpillar's private museum, and I say that because it's actually underneath the corporate office. I mean, I got a funny story to say about that one real fast here in a second.
Right.
But the one that sits outside or sits in a parking lot in Peoria as a display piece is actually a later model twin stack, not the single stack launch specification plus early few years. Also, in Peoria, and I learned this from a Caterpillar employee, that they are going to be building a new headquarters here within the next couple of years. And do you want to know how lucrative the contract is? You know what one of the conditions are?
Cat only, obviously.
Yes, you can only have Cat equipment or equipment that is part of the Caterpillar family. For instance, Wire or whatever that one knockoff shuttle buggy producer are. So it has to be.
So it's like, yeah, what if Crest Scrapers, which are basically rebranded Cat designs from a couple years ago?
Yes, and when Cat was building the visitor center, and this is actually a story that a Cat employee told me, off the record, of course. Pretty much, when they were getting the place set up and ready, they had a Bobcat skid steer, and one of the Cat officials was there, and he told them to take it off site immediately, and then go down the road, rent a Cat skid steer, and then bring it back. So there can be no signs of Caterpillar or non-Caterpillar equipment on Cat premises. Also, here's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
3 times a day, Komatsu sends a train down from West Peoria it's like a mural train promoting their product, and they send it right behind the visitor center, promoting Komatsu equipment, because there is a Komatsu factory right down the road.
Yeah, for the big mining trucks, I believe.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Think so. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But either way, they send a little promotional mural down the train tracks right behind the visitor center.
Right. But anyway, there's a similar story with that I heard with people doing deliveries to some of the Mac facilities back in the day. What they had was, I believe, someone wanted to do a delivery to the facility, and they were driving a Peterbilt hauling whatever to there. So then the security guard outside the gate actually told them to turn around and wait outside the gate until someone showed up.
Now, and let's put it this way, a lot of companies do this. I guarantee you Ford has a very strict no Chevy policy, and vice versa.
No anything else policy, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, if you don't, like, what's a good example of this one? If you walk into Taco Bell and even better, if you walk into Burger King with a sack of McDonald's, they're going to tell you to leave. Or if you, or even better, if you walk into a McDonald's dressed as the Burger King dude, the really creepy dude with the plastic head and stuff,
Oh
they're
boy.
going to ask you to leave because you are promoting a different product. And corporately, you can sort of see why. But my question to the guy at Caterpillar was, so when they have to build their new headquarters, which obviously is going to be more than a couple stories, what are they going to do about cranes?
Hmm.
So are they going to allow
Are they gonna like just use cat telehandlers and like
stack them on top of each other? Stack the tellies on top of each other. No, no. Wait. Cat's going to invent a 50-stage telehandler that can never stop or something. I don't know.
cranes made off of 390s or all their mining equipment?
They're gonna pull something out of their ass, that's for sure.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that's a legit part of the contract. Is you can only have Caterpillar equipment. So
Anyway,
I thought I'd just share that story.
yeah. Before we get too far off,
Too late.
yeah, one of the biggest things again was pricing, where basically compared to previous models, adjusted for inflation and everything, the price is still significantly higher. We understand the fact that more details supposedly, and better technology that allow for that, yeah. But just looking a couple years back and how we have a large model like the 385 and 390, 249, okay, not that bad. But then we have a model that came out last year, the 349, and that was what, 260?
249.
No,
Well, that's what I paid for mine.
I believe they were 260 though.
They might have been, but now they're going for 300 on Buffalo
Exactly.
Road imports. Whoops.
And like I said, that's the source of the 300 some odd dollar 245 material handler, which is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, and the 349E, that was 269.95.
And don't get me wrong, we're not bashing Buffalo Road imports,
All right, so
I just want to say this though, Buffalo Road imports is like one of the very few places that have a broad selection of the CCM stuff. You can still get I should probably stop right there, but you can still get CCM models that haven't been produced in a very long time and that are virtually nowhere else.
But again, like a lot of places, only if you want to pay the manipulated price.
Yeah. So I'm again rant city up in here today, I guess.
But anyway, it's like the things. Well, back to what we were saying about the Contractor series. I don't know how well it's gonna do, because considering some of their last attempts at more interesting equipment or different equipment in 1/24th scale, take the D7E for example. 1/24th scale, released a number of years ago. I believe, was it 2009? I want to say.
Wait, what is it?
2008, I believe. D7E.
Oh yeah.
And 2010, yeah. And the original retail price is $429.95, and they have not sold out. CCM still has the D7E with the drawbar.
And compare that to models like the 349 that came out last year, and it seems like every week now they're getting more and more and more harder to find.
It's like a lot of the more popular CCM models, basically the price goes up the second one gets listed on eBay.
And also keep in mind though, there's still models like the 983 out there that still haven't sold out yet.
Right, which is, I guess, not super surprising considering the kind of model it is. I mean, the biggest thing we see right now is like people love their excavators, basically.
And I must say this, just to get this one off my chest, but back around Christmas time, I was in an Instagram DM with a bunch of people that I get added to those a lot for stupid reasons. And I remember one guy bought a CCM 249, 349 just to get followers. Like, you're really, you could just buy followers for a hell of a lot less than pay $300 for followers. Like, come on. And if if all you care about is follower numbers, then I hate to say it, and I'm sorry, but you're fucked. It's not about the amount of followers, it's about, sharing your hobby. And
Right.
it's and if you're doing this for followers, then, I hate to say it, but that's not right. You got to be a part of the community, be, be active in it and be prolific and be prideful of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've learned that there are, and people like to complain how the construction community is really bad off. Like, yeah, we got trolls and dipshits, even I'll admit it. But there's other communities that are a whole lot worse off. In May, I got to look into the diecast racing community, and coming from me, they are fucked. Fucked.
Oh boy.
Just saying. But their diecasts are nice. But I digress.
Right.
So yeah, back to the CCM rant.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys realize how basically when Norscot kept on changing their prices and everything, but then once Diecast Masters kind of came onto the scene, almost all the prices went back down to what they were.
And what they should be.
Right, but you realize that Caterpillar wants their money, and one of their biggest operations for money other than equipment is merchandise. So what we're trying to get at here is there's probably been a change somewhere that is making this change, making this more noticeable, the price increase. So it could be indirectly linked, the difference between the Diecast Masters prices going down and the CCM going up.
My reasoning, or what I picture as reasoning for the Diecast Masters things going down, price-wise, is the fact that Cat realizes something, and Cat, like 10% of them aren't idiots. Whoops. Most of them are not idiots, okay? They know for a fact that if you lower the price on something, you have a better chance of people buying more. If you sell a Cat 336E for $100, like Norscot did, then people are gonna be like, the bucket's weird, or the teeth on the bucket are weird. Could have better functionality here and there, but I wouldn't mind having it if it's like, say, a $75 model. Hell, for $75, I'd buy two of them, because think about it, people are buying more. For instance, back to the analogy before of $100 versus 75. If somebody wants to buy two of them for $75, what is that? 150?
Yeah.
Yeah, 150. But yeah, if it's $100, people are more likely just to buy one. So you're missing out on potentially $50 there. Despite the fact that it's less money, and people will buy doubles of the models or whatever. More people would buy the model, and you're still probably coming out ahead anyways. Pretty much less is more, pretty much.
But anyway,
that's my thoughts on it, though.
So yeah.
Oh, and by the way, guys, you're better off buying models from places that are not Caterpillar themselves, because their prices are sky flipping high.
Alright, so yeah, not to beat a dead horse or anything, but yes, prices are starting to get crazy on CCM's behalf.
At this point, we're beating a dead horse's skeleton.
The bones at this point are dust.
Yeah, and I have a weird story about that one, but we're not diving into that one
Yeah,
in this
but
episode.
anyhow, it basically seems that CCM in other regards is almost like the rich man's version of Northcott. Hate to say it or not, because at this point it kind of seems like they're just cranking out whatever Caterpillar wants them to do and charging basically whatever they want to charge, or whatever price they feel will get their money back as soon as possible. Well, we do know that that's obviously business for you, but there's a point after that, where there's the point where you can make the money back, and then after that, any hire is basically charging whatever they feel like.
Yeah. Now, Joe, I actually wanted to bring this point up earlier, but Diecast Masters did push back the arrival of the 335 and all
The
that good stuff.
uh,
Yeah.
supposed
Now,
to fix some issues.
and here's the thing, I kind of applaud that. What was the one main complaint that people had after they were showed off at Toy Fair?
The tracks, the hydraulic lines.
Well, the main thing was the tracks, but think about this. Diecast Masters has a lot of pressure on them right now. And here's why. Diecast Masters have all released stuff that was already in production or about to be in production by Norscott and Tonkin. And I've heard people go, "Oh," and I made this point before in one of those Instagram DMs that it is a Norscott piece, and they're like, "Oh no, it's Diecast Masters." Well, Diecast Masters announced it, but you can tell by the product number. Thanks for teaching me that, Tommy. Um, that it is indeed a Norscott piece. Just Norscott never announced it.
Well, they tried to, but then they announced they were going to make it, but they never showed it off.
Yeah, so pretty much it was the 420F, no matter what you say, or 420F2 or whatever, it is indeed it is a Norscott piece produced by Diecast Masters. It's in the same boat as the 390, except for Norscott actually formally announced that and showed it off. Now, as for the 335 and those models, the next shipment we have from Diecast Masters is going to be the first Diecast Masters designed, built, and produced. I guess built and produced are the same, but either way, I need a third word. By Diecast Masters themselves, it's the 335. They realize that this is going to sort of set the pace for the rest of their tenure as the main producer of Caterpillar models.
Right.
You can leave a good impression or you can leave a bad impression. Remember this. Norscott had a good impression and turned bad, and then Tonkin had a bad reputation for their what's the word here? Their quality control issues.
Control.
Yes. But then
they tried to listen at first, but then they just shut everyone off.
Yeah, and they had their quality control issues, and then they got better at it through time.
But
so,
yeah,
it sort of balances out there, but pretty much this sets the impression and the pace for the rest of the tenure, pretty much. The 335 is a very, very anticipated model. I don't know many people who haven't pre-ordered it yet. People want the 335 because, oh my god, it's the first Cat Zero Tail ever produced by a manufacturer that's not custom made.
Or extremely expensive for
them. And again, it's the ooh-ah sort of thing. First Cat Zero Tail. Great. But how's it going to turn out? And that's like the big question. They cannot afford to mess the D9 or the 18M. They cannot afford to mess those models up.
No.
At this point.
Yeah, stuff like the 18M, I believe they did send it to a certain knowledgeable person in graders for approval, and they actually thought that was pretty interesting of them to do.
Again, Diecast Masters wants to put a good impression towards us.
It's not like, sorry to say this, but the empty promises that Tonkin left us with in the beginning when they said that they were more than willing to listen to us, but in the end just ended up not listening at all and just shut
And
out.
they actually had somebody on Facebook that actually went around asking people what they wanted to see made. Her name
And then
was,
after that, it just got cut off.
yeah. She just disappeared out of nowhere. And then once Tonkin loses it, last New Year's, they reflected back and looked at their tenure with Cat as a failure.
Right.
I don't think it was a failure. I just think that it could have been better.
Yeah, but anyway, back to our original topic. So anyway, since we talked about these various things, back to the whole premise we're trying to talk about. So Caterpillar basically realized that where the cuts should be made. Because you have the Northcott models and the Tonkin stuff and what's now Diecast Masters. So the prices on that are, lower for the most part. Some models are the same or a little bit more expensive, but for the most part, they're lower. So what they're trying to do that is they realize that they can't just price an average model out of the range of average collectors or entry-level collectors, for that matter, because they're not going to get anyone really into this if the product is too expensive. So instead of, say, pricing the heck out of and gouging what would be the average collector and or a bunch of kids, basically, in the other end of the hobby, they realize they want to go lower the price so the models are more accessible, and then basically raise the price where people are going to spare no expense whatsoever, the CCM models. Because those collectors, even though some of them might find the prices a little bit disturbing or shocking, some of them for the most part have to have all the models and will spare no expense to collect them all.
Exactly, it's the CCM effect.
It shows over time that a lot of people are more than willing to pay almost unwise sums of money for discontinued models by CCM, whether it be a couple months after the initial release and sellout, or whether it be a couple years later down the road.
Just as long as they get their hands on the CCM models.
And we see it's only with the Cat models, because they produced limited run models before in diecast, such as the Dresser Dozers, but those models, you barely see them breaking the $150, $200 mark, ever.
Yeah.
And believe me, those were not non-expensive items that came out, so. But the point is, this version or whatever Caterpillar wants at whatever price they want, because people will acquire the latest model.
Yeah. Just as long as they get the models.
Right. So they could have the model, they show you a computer-generated picture of it, people pre-order it the second they can, and then get charged for an unwieldy amount of money for a single CCM model. And for the overseas collectors, they get charged an exorbitant amount of money to import because of the high claim value of the model.
Yeah.
The stories of the two MEs getting stuck in customs for a long time for mostly the collectors.
Feel bad for you guys. Well, actually not really, because you 1B2 amazingly. I would really like to see Crane's Etc.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if he actually bothered considering the price. And basically being a variation of a model that was previously released when basically he could have gone and reviewed, say, other models,
And here's something I just typed in 148th Cat CCM on eBay, and like you get the 953C track loader for 750, like, and then you get these pipe layers for $1,700, and whatever. Of course, that one, quote unquote, only 75 made, but you get these pipe layers that are costing $1,000 and upward. And most of the
Right.
and like then you get the 637G coal scraper, which is actually kind of rare. It's even more rare. I did find out that they made the
637E, yeah.
No, G.
Oh.
It's a coal scraper with the bigger bed and auger.
Okay.
I didn't even know that existed until a couple months ago, but it looks awesome in the white. And it looks really detailed, but do I want to pay $2,250 for it?
No.
No. As much as I would love to have one, I'm not willing to, nor do I want to.
Man.
Cool? Sure, great. If you want to buy it, it's your money, not mine. Of course, then there's also the CCM D10T2 in 1/50th scale. Or not 1/50th scale, 124th, yeah. So here we go with the 124th stuff again, but it's for $1,100.
Now, the whole story with D10T2 is they originally wanted to do a D11, but of course, no. The thing is with CCM is they really don't like doing updated versions of previous models. So, say we have the 245. They're not going to do a 245D model in the exact same configurations because they're really concerned about the value of their models. Because supposedly, an updated version of the model, in this case, the D11, would supposedly in theory, cause the values of the original D11 model that they produced in 1/24th scale to plummet. So rather than doing that, they decide to go and appease their loyal collectors and produce another model, the D10T2, rather than causing their values to plummet somehow.
Oh, I was going to say a 349F.
That works too.
I mean, let's face it, you got a different engine cover, I believe. There's a few differences.
Yeah.
The left-hand box is yellow, and then different decals, which isn't major changes at all, but yet, as
Yeah.
And I swear to God, if sometime in the next year they announce they're making credit for the
wasn't there a Diecast Masters 349 supposed to be released sometime?
Yes.
It was originally in the literature, but I don't know if it was actually finalized.
Oh, by the way, and CCM has never been it wasn't always an exclusive Cat thing. Like, they had stuff like Bucyrus Erie, which still falls under the Cat banner now. They've had unit contracts. They've had Manitowoc.
Right.
They've had all these different contracts. They've had Link
Belt cranes, yeah.
No, not Stink Belt.
Okay.
It works. They've had all these different licenses, and all of a sudden, once they started producing Cat models that weren't 1/87th scale brass and overpriced, well, 1/87th scale and brass, that is.
Yeah.
The overpriced part still sticks, but
just about everything they produce, though.
Then, the different brands go away. And over time, they just disappeared to now there's no other brands besides Caterpillar being produced by CCM.
Right. But anyway,
And again, Bucyrus, that really doesn't count because Bucyrus, look who owns them now. Look whose crown jewel got rebranded and painted yellow and black. And is on your screen right now if you're actually watching it for some reason.
yeah.
So yes, that is that. Just had to get that one out. But I would still love to see it in Bucyrus. That's the thing though. The people who took pictures of it cannot release those photos, right?
Or or at least have the images and literature. They can't divulge that.
And you know what?
Or actually a release of it.
I guarantee you that Cat doesn't want people releasing photos of their of the way it is now.
Nor do they completely deleted all the web links to the computer simulations and 3D models to the 6120, and all the links are like dead now.
And here's the thing.
All the press releases.
And I'm going to use this as an example, but they cannot tell me not to post a picture of it because, one, I posted it in a lot of places. And two, I wasn't trespassing on their property. They cannot tell me that I have to delete the photos because I'm a free photographer. I'm not obligated to not take pictures of things. For instance, if I were to take a picture of a plant and the EPA says delete it, well, actually, that's a bad example because the EPA could just get the Fetty boys to delete it. But if the EPA does not want you taking pictures of a plant, they tell you to take it down, and it's not on federal property, technically they can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Per se. Let's put it this way, I was not on their property, they cannot tell me to delete the photo because I was not trespassing on their property, and they cannot claim copyright issues because, let's face it, that means everyone who's ever taken a Caterpillar equipment picture is in violation. Oh, me and Joe have plenty of counts against us then.
Oh boy.
You probably more so than me, but... And I actually have Ethan and Ethan's dad to back us up that we were not on Caterpillar property. We were on public property. Actually, we were on a public railroad. To be precise.
Oh boy.
We were on public property when we were taking the pictures, and they can't say anything about it, so...
Now, as long as you don't run into one of those trained people that are like, hey, railroad property, delete all your pictures.
Well, they have to track me down, and that's a 5.5, 6 hour drive. So, can't touch this.
While on YouTube, they were literally trained enthusiasts that would go and hunt down equipment people and claim that they were trespassing on railroad property.
But yet they go off and do the exact same thing.
Yeah, and lay down on the train tracks and do their stuff.
Because they're assholes. Well, the people that did it, not trained enthusiasts in general.
Yeah, in general, but...
I have friends that are trained enthusiasts. Harrison Rogers is one of them.
Harrison.
Do it. And by the way, if you want to know why we're extending out the S's, it's an inside joke.
Yes.
I don't even know where it really came from, but I just stick with it.
Yeah. But I kind of feel we're just, like, dragging this on forever.
Well, I mean, it's been an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, boy.
But, however, like, we owe these guys, like, 2 months of content, so...
Yeah, true.
But we'll make it up in due time.
Yeah.
And I just got scared shitless because I heard noises behind me, and it turns out it's my chair squeaking.
Oh, no, the infamous chair.
But yeah, so K-Kappa Joe has returned to to a computer, tablet, or cellular device near you, and hopefully it's near you, or else.
We don't know how you're listening to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you have Bluetooth speaker, but
I usually have Bluetooth speakers, but. And you know what? I'm measuring this show out because I've used up 85% of my laptop battery.
Oh boy.
Think about it though, I'm running Skype, Discord, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, the Broadcaster.
Why two different browsers all at once?
Well,
Are you like, instead of opening two new windows, you're just like side by side browsing Chrome and Internet Explorer?
well, I was doing a test to see which one was faster,
Okay.
and then I got sidetracked.
Oops.
And then I found out that there was actually YouTube videos of the expansion site from a company, or so-called company. Like, they have drone videos of the progress.
Yeah.
Which is, Joe, I think you've seen some of the videos.
Yeah, I checked them out a little bit. Mostly skipped through them, but
Still kind of cool, nonetheless. You get to see it from overhead, and then you
Yeah.
kind of get like a scale of the project, and that's just the north part of the project.
yeah.
So it's a pretty decent size. Plus this
Right.
giant ass retention pond that they're building, but someone's going to drive into it eventually and get killed.
Oh no.
But that's something typical. Like, you can't go in the summertime. You can't go an entire month without someone getting killed in a retention pond, which is sad but true.
Oh man.
So I think we should really just stop dragging this one out, and then we should make up the other little bit of time that we missed later on, because
Sure.
right now it's 3:06 in the morning. For,
Oh no.
By the time we're recording this, hopefully you're asleep right now,
Yeah, asleep somewhere.
where we should be, and I feel like I should be because I watched a 24-hour race less than 2 days ago,
Oh boy.
and I only have 5 hours of sleep since then.
Okay.
So, yeah. But anyways, guys, K-Kappa Joe is back, and we're the same as we were before, so I can't really say that we're better than ever, but still.
Yeah.
All
right.
Thanks for watching, guys, and do you want to say the peace out on this one?
No, you always say it.
Also, hi to my family at home, and someone on a YouTube channel actually asked me to do this, but hey, Diecast Reviews.
Oh.
Yeah, he's in the radio, but so
All right.
that was, and just hi, and also David Land on YouTube. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Any final words before I go to sleep for a very long period of time?
I can't think of anything.
Alright, guys. That's it. And, as always, wait for it. Alright, peace out, guys. We'll see you next time. And the new Kevin show's coming out as well, by the way, so peace out.